Welcome back to Adventures with Rosie. Now Harvey and I are doing a bit more DIY today. We've got a load of different bits of pipe and connectors, and we are going to make an external grey water tank. Let's do it.
Hey!
Well, if you're new here, first off, welcome to the channel. My name is Bronson. My wife Chelsea and I and our 3 kids own a Jayco Journey caravan, and we're about 2 months away, literally 2 months away from going on the road full time. So we're moving out of our house, we're moving into the caravan, and so we've kind of been just trying to do a few things over the last couple of weeks to make life a bit easier on the road next year. In the last DIY video we ripped out our microwave, made some more storage there, put a new swivel rubbish bin in, double the size of our rubbish bin. I'll link that video up there somewhere if you're interested. And today we're going to look at water, and in particular our grey water tank. So this caravan has a 80 litre or 85 litre, might be a 90 litre grey water tank, and we have double the fresh water than the grey water. And one thing we've been finding over the last year of just sort of short trips and weekends away is that we use a lot of water. You know, in between showering and the 5 of us showering, all the dishes that come with having children, small humans that turn taps on outside to wash their feet and leave them running, we use a lot of water and make a lot of grey water, right? So a while back I bought a little 40 litre roll away tank. So sometimes I empty some water out of our main grey tank into the little roller tank and then go and dump that. And that's working well, but it doesn't meet the self-containment standards. So the sort of places we like to stay, the NZMCA parks, the dock campgrounds, they require this caravan to be certified self-contained. And so with the grey water comes certain, standards and regulations we have to adhere to. So we've bought a bunch of parts, and we're going to kind of modify our external setup a bit so that it's a bit better, sort of adheres to those standards better, right? Alright, let's have a brief look and chat about those standards that we're trying to adhere to with this grey water tank. So I'll put a link down below to the entire self-containment standard regulation, can't think of the proper name for it, but the document down below. That's the NZS 5465:2001, and there's a handful of regulations in there around grey tanks that we need to look at basically. Alright, so these are a little bit wordy, so I'll just read them off my phone as I go because I can't memorize them. I've tried. And the first one, 7.1.2, says that a motor caravan or caravan may have a removable grey tank provided the waste pipe that feeds into the tank has an automatic shut-off valve and cap. And there should be a watertight seal between the grey tank and the connecting pipe of the vehicle. So that's a key point right there, because what we've been doing so far is just pushing the tank under, opening the lid, and letting the water flow freely out of the pipe into the tank. So this particular part of the standard says that there has to be a watertight seal between the outlet and the tank. So that's one thing we'll address. So 7.2 is another point we need to look at, and this is around level indicators. So it says when the capacity of the supply tanks, the freshwater tanks, is greater than the waste tanks, there should be a functioning level indicator fitted to each waste tank. The level indicator shall be clearly visible when conducting normal activities around the vehicle, i.e. you don't need to look under the vehicle. So our onboard grey tank in this caravan is monitored, so tick there, and the external one has a level indicator on the side that rises up and it's bright red and it tells you when the tank is full. 7.6, evacuation of tanks. For grey water tanks or a combination of grey water tanks connected together, tanks up to 200 litres shall have a discharge pipe with a valve and a minimum diameter of 25 millimeters. So this is quite important. We need to have a 25 millimeter pipe connecting the outlet of the caravan to the tank, and it can be no smaller. And lastly, 7.8, waste tank vents. 7.8.1 says that every waste tank shall be vented, and the minimum size of such a vent shall be 10 millimeters. So the pipe that you have coming up out of the tank to vent the air out has to be 10 millimeters. There's another key point here as well in 7.8.2. The vent shall terminate outside the vehicle, which is fine for us, away from any door, window opening, that's fine, and extend above the flood level, in brackets overflow, of the lowest sanitary fitting So the top of your vent pipe has to be above the lowest sanitary fitting in your caravan. So in this case, it's the shower basin. So when our tank's outside, the pipe has to come up and the top of the pipe has to be higher than the shower basin. So those are the key points we need to focus on in the self-containment standards. There are a whole lot of other ones for grey tanks if your tank is larger than 200 litres, which ours is obviously not, and a bunch of other things that we don't really need to focus on. So we're going to chuck some more parts and fittings and pipes at our grey tank, our current setup, and see if we can bring it up to standard. So what parts do you need to make this happen? Well, you will need one 25mm grey flexi hose, and you normally buy this stuff per meter, so you can buy whatever length you desire. You'll also need a 25mm cam lock attachment, a Valterra dump cap with a 3/4 nipple, a 20mm nut and hose tail, a 20mm female elbow, a threaded one, 15mm pipe for your vent, so whatever length you need to meet that standard, and 2 hose clamps. So I spent a bunch of time online finding all these various different bits and pieces, and then I realized there's companies like RV Mega over in Tauranga that sell all the pieces you need as a kit. They do a kit with the external tank and without as well. So I ended up just getting one without the tank to save me postage on buying like things from 3 different sites. I'll link them below. They're not sponsoring this video or anything, but it's pretty handy if you need all the bits and pieces from one place, so I'll pop a link to that below. Alright, super simple to put all this together. All you need is a flathead screwdriver and a 3.5-year-old.
I don't know how to. Perfect.
So once your 3.5-year-old's had a crack at putting it together, you might need to tighten a few things up, maybe move a few things around so it all works. But quite a cool little piece of pipe, right? It just connects from the outlet of our grey tank on board to this little tank, and then the little vent pipe up the side. So nice and simple, it all packs away in the front locker really nicely. And it's kind of increased our grey tank capacity by 50%, which is good, and a means of emptying it. I guess a quick disclaimer, if you're going to do a similar thing, have a read of those certifications for yourself. Obviously, I'm not a self-containment officer. This is my interpretation of those standards. One thing you will need to bear in mind is that the length of your riser pipe will obviously change depending on your van's configuration. So if you've got a caravan or a motorhome that sits higher off the ground than our one is, our Jayco's quite low to the ground, you'll need a longer pipe. So make sure you measure that, that's kind of key. And you could also have a different length of the flexi hose, right? If you wanted to have your grey tank, your roller tank a few meters away. We just went with a nice short option there. So yeah, I mean, quick disclaimer, have a read for yourself, can't hurt. I'm no expert. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys watching these little DIY videos that Harvey and I are doing. Like I said, in 2 months time we are packing this van up, we're throwing all the kids in, and we're heading down to the South Island, and we're going to bring you a ton of videos from down south. We're super excited about going down there, and I guess being able to share more of full-time life on the road with a family of 5 in a 19-foot caravan. So it's going to be interesting, so make sure you subscribe down the bottom, hang out, come along for that, and yeah, we'll be sharing loads of the adventure along the way with you. And as always, if you've got any questions, comments, queries, anything at all, fire them below or message us and I'll get back to you. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.